Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to show you the progress that we've made on the Mini today. We decided not to record it while we were doing it purely because we're doing a lot of stuff under the car, so you wouldn't be able to see anything anyway, and to be quite honest we just wanted to get it done. But we thought we'd show you what we've done so far and update you on what's going to go on next. So first things first, we put the supercharger and intake manifold back on. It's a little bit of a pain to do. I remembered that from when I did it last time, which you can watch somewhere, one of these corners. It's a little bit of a pain to do because you kind of have to put them both on at the same time. So with two people, it's a lot easier, but we managed to get that on in the end. So got those tightened up, fuel rail and injectors in, all this sort of pipe work off the rocker cover and into the supercharger, like breather hoses, that sort of things in. Tidy up a lot of the other cabling. You know, there's the sensors on the front and the knock sensor, things like that. Just tidied up all that wiring and got it all plugged in, basically. There's a pipe that comes off the supercharger, which goes up to the throttle body. And the throttle body, we've got them both in, secured and wired in. Alternators back on. All the other hoses for aircon and things like that are back in properly and secure. Yeah, the only thing we've really got to do on the front now is the belt. And then obviously radiator and all that fun stuff. The airbox has still got to go back in, but we're trying to trace a cable. So, yeah.
That's probably going to be the last thing we put in it.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, the airbox doesn't need to be in till the very end. So, that's not the end of the world. But aside from that, that's not all we've done today. We've been quite busy at the back of the car. So what I'm going to do is come pick up the camera and we'll go and see if we can have a look at the back. So we're at the back left-hand side of the car now. We've done the same thing on both sides. So we've got the fuel tank back in, the rear subframe back in, along with the R56 rear trailing arms, which are obviously aluminium, which is a nice little upgrade. We've got the hubs in. Obviously the shock and springs, anti-roll bar with the drop links. We do have the handbrake cables ran, just not plumbed in yet because there's nothing to plumb them into. So yeah, I mean, it was a bit of a pain getting the anti-roll bar in, so we somewhat forgot until we looked at this hole right here where the drop link goes, and Owen said, "What's that for?" And we realised it was for the anti-roll bar, which we hadn't put in. No. So we basically just had to drop the rear subframe a little bit, slide it in. It was a little bit more difficult, but it was a lot easier than pulling it all out again.
Yeah.
So yeah, the other side is completely the same, which is nice. So we're pretty much buttoned up here. Obviously you need some brakes and need to finish the brake lines, but the actual sort of rear end is there. Fuel tank's back in. All the filler pipes back in, all that sort of stuff.
Level sensor.
Yeah, there's just the level sensor left to add on as well. I need to order a new one because it's snapped while we were taking everything apart. But yeah, we've got the R56 aluminium rear end in, which is a bit of an upgrade from the old, I think they're steel, the old ones. And yeah, you know, they're not rusted like the old ones are as well. And a hell of a lot lighter to move around. So, yeah, happy with that.
We have got everything back in. I think we were just struggling a bit with the two of us. You would have never done it with just one of you because it was so hard. Because the 13mm bolts that come off from the strap from the fuel tank to the rear subframe, they were seized, so we couldn't get them off. So the way we took it off, as you've probably seen in previous videos, is we'd have to take the strap off at the back and then put a jack underneath the fuel tank to then bring the subframe out and then bring the tank out. So we'd have to like put the tank up and then put the subframe up. So with two of us it was a lot easier, but with one of you would have never done it. But that's it really. I mean, it took a bit more time than we'd have wanted to, but it's one step closer to actually getting it back on the road.
So next up, what we've basically got to do is I've got to get some new ball joints for the front subframe so we can get the lower arms connected properly. There was nothing really wrong with them, but we're here, we had it out.
Yeah, they had
might as well do them.
they had a little bit of play in them, it would have never failed an MOT or anything like that. It was just they had a bit of play in them, and when you've got a car that you've just rebuilt from pretty much nothing to actually getting everything back in, I feel like it would be a bit better just to freshen up the subframe and freshen up the suspension, really.
Yeah, so we'll get those ordered, get them fitted, and then we can put the front subframe back in, marry that up with the engine and the gearbox so that everything's mounted properly there, because it's currently still a little wobbly. But yeah, I mean, it's secure, but obviously you need to get the subframe in. So we'll get that in, get the belt on, just tidy everything up here. I've got to obviously get brake calipers, hoses, all that fun stuff at the back. Then we get the absolute pleasure of bleeding the car. So
I forgot about that.
That's brakes and coolant.
I didn't catch that. Could you try again?
No. So that's obviously brakes and coolant. And the last time we did this, which again you can find somewhere, we spent 2-3 hours trying to bleed the coolant. Yeah, not very straightforward for whatever reason. I don't know if it's just my car, whether it's Minis in general, but it was a pain in the backside. Did it in the end, but it took us a while. Just remember, we've got to bleed the clutch as well, so that's going to be even more fun.
Yeah.
But you will see a nice little trick that I've picked up for that, so that's at least good for you guys. But yeah, so got some bleeding stuff to do.
Bleed is the brakes.
Yeah, it's going to take forever.
The brakes is going to take forever. Just
it's new everything.
All new lines,
yeah.
All new hoses, new calipers, everything's new.
Yeah.
And there's going to be air and everything, so it's going to take us over a day just to bleed it. But
so yeah,
we'll pull Tyler in for that.
We're really excited for that bit. But yeah, no, you know, there's not really that much left to sort of button up now. It's just a lot of tedious little bits like the bleeding and things. There's not really many other bits to buy. Like I said, the ball joints. The biggest thing is going to be brake calipers, disc pads, flex hoses, that sort of things. And then, yeah, there might be a couple of bolts that we need to buy here and there, or like I say, about the ball joints, that sort of thing. So, yeah, there's not too much more to buy and to do. Might take us a little bit longer, and then, you know, the bleeding might take us an even lot longer. But at least it won't cost me anything, so that's always good. But yeah, quite happy with the work we've done today, and I mean the work we've done in general, really, yeah. which is nice. So yeah, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it or found it somewhat entertaining, useful, whatever. If you've got any questions, let me know on Instagram. I'll put it down here on the screen. Drop me a message on Instagram and I'll try and reply. But yeah, other than that, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments if you want to see anything in particular, you want us to talk about anything in particular.
Or if you want to see my new car.
Or see Owen's new car. I mean, even see my new car, because you've still not seen it. And I've had it a year, so you see me fix it.
Yeah.
But they're not seen the car. So let me know if you want to see mine. I know I haven't uploaded a lot recently, but I'm trying to get back into it a little bit. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.